This is going to be a tutorial video. This is going to be the coil. It's called a monsoon coil. This is not my creation, but I'm going to show you how to wrap it. All right. The reason it's called a monsoon coil, I guess it's just a name from the person who created it, but it does involve a proper one if you're going to follow the creator's ways, with a tensor ring, some wire. All right, so it can be any sort of insulated wire. It can be your, what I use to wrap my coils, your enamel coated magnet wire, or some insulation. Like you can see, this is just old scrappy stuff that I've twisted together. I'll explain what I do, how to do it. I'm not going to show you the behind the scenes to do this. You can see this anywhere. How they make tensor rings is a similar way, and how other coils that people make like this, how they twist the wire, or your more, I guess, popular sort of ones. This is an I-Pyramids proper coil, how they twist their wires together. I don't do that when I make my coils, it's different. The way I do it is more traditional, the way Marko Rodin intended for them to be made, or the original way they did make it, one wire at a time. This is a bundle of wire twisted together. It's different. Okay, so these here that I make and the coil that's in the pyramid, they are different. All right, but this is going to be different again. So this is just insulated wire. It's twisted together. It's one strand, like one length of wire. You fold it in half. You can see that you can put this end on a nail or a hook or something, right? And you put the other end in a drill. This end here in a drill, okay? So these are two ends. So you can put that, wedge that in a drill, and you twist it up. Now it's up to you whether you twist the drill clockwise or counterclockwise. If you look right into it, some people say for the northern hemisphere it's counterclockwise, southern hemisphere it's clockwise. I believe I've got that right. So whether that matters to you or not, do your own research. People say, you know, for a tensor ring it should be made a specific way, twisted a certain way. That is all just up to you. You can do your research on that. So I've just twisted this a specific way that I've done. What we're going to do is wrap it, okay? So monsoon coil. Now I'll just give you, before we get into that, a quick showcase of what it is. Now this coil is from the creator himself, okay? So this is what we're going to end up with, basically, okay? This is a monsoon coil. In there is a tensor ring, the same size. Now he is using smaller wire, so this is going to be difficult because this is just what I've got a hand already sort of twisted together, but you're going to get the gist, and it's very easy to make. So this is a scalar cancelling coil. The reason it's a scalar cancelling coil is if you've got a current or voltage or whatever passing through one end of the wire, goes all the way down, twisting around, and it hits the other end, and then it loops where you put it on the nail. For instance, it loops and it doubles back on itself. So you've got a flow going down and a flow going back. That the interaction of the fields clashing cancels out. Okay, this does work. I can test that. The magnetic field, when you pass a current through it, for example, with frequency generator boxes, I can hook that up, put a frequency through that. It cancels out the magnetic field, versus if I run it through, say, one of our coils designed for PEMF therapy, okay? The magnetic field range is much further with this versus one of these coils where it is cancelled, meaning anything that's cancelled like that is going to produce a scalar field, okay? Scalar is cancelling energy. There is scalar aspects to this sort of stuff, especially because it's embedded within an orgonite matrix, which will stimulate the orgonite matrix to produce orgone or scalar. The crossing over magnetic field lines of the coil weave itself also has a scalar aspect about it. But let's just get into this. So tensor ring, doesn't even have to be a tensor ring. The monsoon coil is with a tensor ring, but you can have any ring. You can have any sort of plastic ring, a wooden ring, any sort of hoop. I might insert a picture here. If not, I might use it in the thumbnail for this video. I have made these coils 2-channel. And I use an Orgonite ring. So I don't use a tensor ring. I make my own Orgonite ring, bigger than this, and then I get my wire and I wrap it. So 2 channels, so 2 individual coils, okay? But, so what you want to do, and I hope this is all in camera, tensor ring, you've got your end where you hoop it in the middle around the nail, and this is the end here where we stick into the drill, okay? You want to start with this end, all right? All you do, tensor ring, you can overlap it on the top. I'll show you this in a minute, be better. So I overlap it on the top, right, and I just hold it. You're going to get to see it from the back end, and feed it through the middle. Pull that through, and it's going to be harder because this is thick wire, right? So all I've done, if you can see, all I've done is hooped it through the middle. And then what we're going to try to make is a square, okay, with this wire, with this pattern, all right? Now we loop it over, all right, feed it through the center, and you're going to see that it's going to make a nice toroidal looking donut sort of figure, all right? I'll show you in a second what it's going to look like. And like I said, it's a little bit harder with this here thick wire. It's not ideal because I've got a little ring and too thick a wire. But just for demonstration purposes only, I would not do this if I was making one, or I would use a bigger ring for a start. All right, now now you're going to get to see this better in a second. Just let me do a few more wraps. Add the pieces up there. With some of the PEMF scalar therapy devices. Hands down, if I don't say so myself, we do some pretty cool devices here. They do work. Frequency imprinting, doing our water. For instance, you can frequency imprint crystals. Yeah, it's just really cool tech. All right, now, I'm going to show you where we're at right now. So I'll show you from this way what I'm looking at. I hope that's in camera. So this is the bit we started with. That's just going to flop over there. We're going to stick that down at the end. If we finish this properly, but I don't really want it. But you can see the square-ish shape, right? So I'm going to do a few more wraps of this. So all you're doing is feeding it in through the center, going around the outside of the tensor ring, and continuing. So when you pass through the center, you're going on the when you pass through the center, you're going on the outside up here, okay? And then we'll go through the middle again. And again, this is difficult with thick stuff with such a small tensor ring. A larger tensor ring with this will be fine. So I've just gone through the middle. You get to see with that one there. And then we pass it on the outside like that. All right, through the middle. And you just repeat that. And I hope this is all on camera, because this will be a big waste of time if it's not. All right, so tutorial, if you want to make a scalar coil, it's very easy just to get a big long piece of wire. You have to determine how long you need it, because it depends on what you're wrapping it around. You do need some kind of ring, and it really doesn't matter what it is. It can be a wooden ring, just a solid plastic ring. Or what I do, Orgonite ring, all right, or tensor rings. You can buy them if you don't want to make them yourself, if you don't know how or whatever. They do need to be made quite accurately. And you get to see this is coming along, right? Right, so this would be the first layer, which is this part. The second one is this part here going in the opposite direction. Creating more contradiction, clashing of the field, okay? So the more clashing, the more cancellation you get, the more scalar you produce. We know that energy cannot be created nor destroyed, all right? So passing current through a wire is going to produce a magnetic field. But when you cancel it out, what happens to the field? It can't just disappear into nothingness. It can't. So it's actually transmuted or changed into. It's getting. I'll show you the end result in a second. It's getting a bit tough now, but this will be finished real soon. Yeah. So you cannot just cancel it. I mean, sorry, it can't just be non-existent. It has to get changed into something else. All right. So that's your scalar field. Oh, if I can get this to fit in. Yep. Some people I've seen this do this, and it's just a big mess. It doesn't look very good. And this one, it would be much better if we had some more durable wire. I'm really wrenching on this to make it fit. All right, and that'll be pretty much it. All right, so what you can do, what you would do, is probably get some super glue, and you would stick. You can stick the end that we started. Stick the end that we started to the actual coil itself somewhere there, or stick it to the end there, and then you would have. Anyway, you'd have your nice donut coil. All right. Now I could make this neater, like I keep saying, it's too thick for this. But when you put say frequencies through this, just say your 432, it's going to go up, circulate around, and it's going to double back on itself, creating that cancellation. Okay. Because when you finish this one, you could then go ahead like this one and wrap yourself another one. And do it in the opposite direction as you wrap it. That's why this one looks cooler, really. And I've done these in the past, like I said. And then you create more contradiction. How you connect it, now I've been playing around with this. This is not how I would actually have it connected. You can connect it in series or in parallel. You can look up the differences in that. Not only that, you could make it into a 2-channel as well. You would need to work that out. You can use it with a well, it depends on what you use, but you can do a shared ground wire, so you'd have 2 inputs and then they share a ground out. You can do that, or yeah, a proper 2-channel. Up to you. There's things you can do, there's things you can learn. But yes, this tutorial here, I hope made sense. And that's just basically, I can make it neater. It annoys me when these stick out and it's not smooth and perfect. Or you can do one less wrap and sort of spread the wires out a little bit, and make it like a nice little donut. All right, but that is it. All right, now might do some extended content right now, if you will, if you want to stick around. Now, that said, with that scalar coil, you can do these, and I have done it, well, matter of fact, I can show you one, and you won't see any difference. Excuse me for a moment, this one versus say this one. Now, besides from the colours, do you see any difference? No, not really. Alright, these two are made identical, but one is a scalar, one is a PEMF. It's actually the other way around. This is PEMF. This obviously has scalar aspects about it as well with the Orgonite itself. With the PEMF field this produces, will stimulate the Orgonite matrix, producing more Orgone, the crossing over magnetic field lines. Okay. There is more about this that'll produce scalar as well. Get into it maybe in another video. But the coil itself in this one is PEMF, pulsed electromagnetic field. Depending on how this is powered, it can be a 6 to 12 foot diameter field from this. This one here, scalar. All right. Now, why is it scalar? It's just how it's hardwired in the device, how the wiring is configured. Instead of both of the coils going one way, producing a large PEMF field, you've got one coil going one way, one coil going the other way, and they are clashing together, creating a contradictory. You can do the same thing with 2 magnets. For instance, if you've got 2 flat disc magnets, if you've got the north and the north, you can try to put them together. You've got that repulsion, they won't stick. If you force them together, and say you bonded them together with some real hard glue, like an epoxy glue, for instance, just putting this back, that's permanently got that contradiction, and that there is producing a scalar field as well. Doesn't matter if it's two norths or two souths, okay? I was watching this thing, it was all documented and stuff. I can't remember the person's name, but they were doing some testing. They actually got the magnets and they stuck them, let's say, north and north together, wrapped them up, and he had something equal in size and weight. I believe everything was hunky-dory. Dropped it off identically. I think he came up with a certain platform thing where they dropped the same, at the same rate, and really, really high distance. And it was all filmed, and you can see this, the scalar with the, say, the north and north magnets, the scalar one fell a lot slower. There was a definite, they did it time and time again, they did it, and there was a definite difference in the way they fell. The other one, I guess the control, hit the ground first every time. So it having a scalar is a different energy about it. It's very unique. So that coil there is a scalar type. I can do that. This coil here is a scalar type, depending on how you power it and stuff like that. And what we just did is a scalar type. It's just a single coil. This here, if you power this up, this will work right now. And you can say that the tensor ring itself is actually a scalar, or a scalar wave, or scalar antenna. Okay, so the way that works is you think about it. You've got one piece of wire, you fold it in half, you twist it up, and then you're cutting it into your right length, and then you're folding it together and you're welding it together. So that there is it's an antenna, but it's creating that contradiction, that twist on it, where energies, whatever, jump on that coil. It is a coil, it's just connected. It's a closed circuit, but it is like it's in the realm of the scalar energy, the life force energy, consciousness energy, and it is an antenna as well. Okay. How you would power a coil like a scalar coil, or for instance, this plate and this plate is different. 2-channel. This one will be our CS9 whenever it comes available, and then you got a CS6. This is a different plate that requires this to be powered. This is a more simple device, one frequency, plug and play, you're good to go. This here I'll power it with 15 volts, and it doesn't even, I don't think it even gets warm, and it can produce a 20-foot diameter field easy. Okay. Same deal with this one, but it's 2-channel, designed to go with the PEMF healing app. It does require an amplifier. It's powered differently. It doesn't require this. So differences. This here does require this. This one is actually available for sale. These ones here are just different. I know for a fact pyramids are 2-channel as well. This one here is 2-channel. They're all different ohms in coils. Making coils like this is more complicated than this. This is simple. If you want a scalar coil device, just do this. Any sort of ring, doesn't even matter. If you want to make it a bit better, get a tensor ring. If you want to make it a bit better, make an Orgonite ring. That way you can load it with crystals, your metal powders, or your metal shavings, or whatever, what have you, and you've already got like a scalar ring there. Okay, you don't have to have a tensor ring, but it's called a monsoon coil when it's got a tensor ring in it. Okay, links are in the description. Go check it out. Like the video, subscribe, and we're on TikTok now, so that's good. Just new, like a few days ago, we're new. Maybe a week ago by the time you watch this. Who knows if I upload the video. Very recently did a video with these here. You saw this one in the video, but I've also made this one. So this is going on my partner's new phone. This one's going to go on mine. All right. These here work. You get to see when I was using the Wi-Fi using this here on the RF setting for detecting the Wi-Fi nasty radiation frequencies, high frequencies. When this here was inserted in place, the ping, the maximum, which is like 100,000 whatever, is when it reached its peak. It was at its distance, it was peaking. As soon as you insert this in the way, it drastically dropped. It didn't even get to that ping anymore. Same deal, these here, much bigger, aimed for your laptop, iPads, laptops. If you want, you can put it on the back of the screen. You can put it underneath, or if you put it underneath, you could put like, say, 4 of these, and then you've got like little feet, and these will actually work to help control, mitigate, diminish, just reduce the exposure. From my testing, these do work. You insert these in front or in between, they do. The energy is from your Wi-Fi, for instance, jump onto the coil, circulate around it. It's in a geometric shape, and it just sorts it out. There is lots of piezoelectric crystals in here. Quartz crystals are known as transducers. They can take one form of energy and put it into another. This is in a high strength rate resin, which means it gets the most squeeze, producing more of that energy, okay, that transmutation. And there's just loads of goodies in here. All right, I'm going to wrap that up. I hope this made sense to you. If you need a new follow-up or a different video, let me know. Okay, so wrap it around. Like I'm saying, power this bad boy up. You can, even if you just plug, you could just wire up any connection to that. And yeah, I can show you. Any connection to that, you can plug it. You can get something from your phone, right? The end of that, you can cut off the end of that, wire it up to this, if you wanted, depending, and just power it straight off your phone, carry it around. You can shove a big large crystal in the middle of it, one that fits and takes up that diameter or whatever. Put it in your own Orgonite. You'll have a nice scalar wave generator then. Yeah. Alright guys, have fun with that. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.